Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me? Hello, hello. Area Dan YS Tibor. Welcome, guys. Can everyone clearly see the Bitcoin chart? And are the volumes okay? Perfect. We have some price action to work with, right? Plans on Bitcoin didn't quite play out like we expected them to play out. But that's part of the game, you know. You win some, you lose some. We made nice money on Ethereum. And our spot bags are doing amazing. So let's take a look at the charts and make some new plans, right? Because it's kind of getting exciting. Bitcoin at all-time highs, BNB absolutely ripping. Is Ethereum going to follow? Let's talk about that, but it's looking quite promising and, to be honest, very, very good in my opinion. I made a tweet about that about ETH doing a BNB kind of move towards 7k plus. And I'll talk about that as well, because yeah, some of you think that I just tweet these for like engagement, but I genuinely have a theory behind it, and I'll talk about it on why I think that Ethereum could really catch up to the others, to some of the others, and yeah, rip hard in the coming weeks. So yeah. Let's wait a couple more minutes so some more people can join, and then we'll get started. How are you guys doing? Making some nice trades, holding spots, long, short. What about you guys? Could you analyze Bonk? We'll do some requests at the end, but for now, please keep them for yourself. I'll say so when we can do some requests. Bird. Yeah, we'll do that as well. But as I said, I'll first do my own thing, and then we'll take a look at some other charts. First time live, welcome man. Bitfa, holding spot, nice, nice. Yeah, BNB, crazy. I'm thinking about starting to take at least some profit soon though. Feel like this move is getting a little extended, and we're coming into some key resistance around 1.4, 1.5, so I think I might actually be taking some off there. But for now I'm still fully in. Been selling gradually some spots as we go up. Yeah, I mean, taking profit is never bad. I personally am waiting a bit because Q4 just started, so I think these moves can really bring us a lot higher, especially if Bitcoin starts to run here. towards 140, 150 maybe. Well, first step 130. But if Bitcoin does that, then I think, yeah, alts will definitely have more room to go up as well. So yeah. All right, let's get started. So first, just quickly, I made this tweet earlier today and announced it last week. I am giving away a free $100,000 evaluation on Breakout, a prop firm where you can get funded if you lack the funds to trade yourself, but you are killing it in the market. You just lack the funds. You can buy an evaluation. If you pass that evaluation, you get funded. All right. Now they gave me the chance to give away a free evaluation for a $100,000 account. Meaning if you win, you get to try the evaluation for free. If you pass the evaluation, you get the 100K account, right? So pretty nice deal. What do you have to do to get in the giveaway? Buy your first evaluation. Doesn't matter if it's a $5,000 evaluation, right? Or a 100,000. I think the 100,000 evaluation costs around 1K, but you can go much smaller, right? And you're already in. If you win, like I said, you get this evaluation for free, and you get a chance to win, to get funded up to $100,000. All right. With that being said, oh yeah, also leave a like on the live stream if you enjoy. Subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't already. We're getting close to 10K subs, so if you're not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. That helps me a lot also to grow on YouTube, so that would be much appreciated. Also, thanks to Blowfin, my second sponsor. If you want to trade your own money, head over to the description, make your account. If you want to join my Discord, make a deposit on Blowfin, send me a DM, or just join the Discord and use the bot, and you're good to go. My private Discord, it's free. All I'm asking is to sign up on Blowfin. All right. With all of that being said, let's take a look at Bitcoin, right? So starting from last week, right? We were short, we were wrong. So be it, right? Everyone on CT thinks that it's a big deal to be wrong on a trade. Well, it's just part of the game, right? So anyone claiming they're never wrong, or if you see someone on X never posting about a losing trade, well, they're most likely out there just trying to benefit from their followers. Okay, so I was wrong, right? But let's talk about the trade ID, where it went wrong, and of course what we're watching in the future. So our whole plan, right, was that we were watching this basically last month's range with these as lows and these as the highs. What did we say, right? We said there was going to be a lot of liquidity resting below last month's low, and also a lot of liquidity resting above last month's high. Our idea was basically, if either of these sides get taken out, right, we would look for a trade targeting the opposite side of this range, right? In this case, we went for, so initially on this move, right, I was looking to swing long if we would sweep last month's low and reclaim it there, right? Didn't happen. We got the bounce. What was I watching there or from there? If we would go for last month's high first, right, I thought the hype would be very, like, everyone would be calling new highs. Of course, now in hindsight, it's easy to say that it happened, right? But we didn't know that at that time. So a lot of hype up there, a clean invalidation up here for Bitcoin shorts, and a nice target and a draw on liquidity being to the downside all the way below here. And all of those reasons, right, lining up with each other gave me the trigger. And those were the reasons that I was short coming into this 119 to 122 K area, right? What I wanted to see there obviously was a rejection, a break back below last month's high. At that point, I could trail stops to right here, and then maybe even add some and target the lows after. All right, didn't happen. What was the invalidation? Above here. Got stopped out, took the loss, was wrong. We move on to the next one. Do I think because of this, so sometimes, right, when a trade gets invalidated, what people like to do is take the other side of the trade. For me, that depends from situation to situation, right? I cannot say that if one setup fails, if one short setup fails, right, and you get stopped out, that you have to take the long into the other direction, right? Why is that? It's not only about thinking if price is going to go up or down. No, there's more things to a trade that need to line up. You need to have a clean validation, for example. You need to have a clean target. And more importantly, and in this case, very important, the risk reward needs to be there. And in this case up here, for me at least, the risk reward on longs is not there. If you ask yourself the question, if I were to long here, where would I put my stop, right? Well, for me, I posted about it that I was watching this last month's high, and I think that's going to be key if we retest it from the upside, right? A key place to hold price. But even then, I wouldn't really feel comfortable with a stop like somewhere around here. Then I would have to put it all the way down here, and as you can see, even if we go all the way to 140k, that's a 1 hour setup, right? That will likely take some time as well. Not worth for me to take this in a situation like this. I just like to be in spot and hold spot. All right. What in the other on the other hand, right? That's one reason why I'm not longing up here. Another reason why I'm not longing up here is still because we have those unswept lows down here, and that I could still see a scenario where we locally top in this area in between here and let's say 128k. I'm not saying the top is in right here, but I could definitely see a scenario where this ends up being a sweep above all-time highs. At first I didn't, right? But now, because of how this played out, right, and because of how we left liquidity to the downside, I do think there is a scenario where this locally tops up here. We fail to hold all-time highs, break back below here, and see lower prices from there. How low? I don't know. And because of that reason, because I do still see this as a breakout above all-time highs, and I don't think that the trade has enough probability to work out for me to take it. So for those reasons, I'm not shorting again, right? I tried shorting above these highs. It didn't work out. I'm not gonna revenge short here without confirmation, right? But with all of these things being said, right, it hopefully now makes sense why I'm just flat on margin, holding spot. We move to all-time highs. We are breaking out, but not worth to long up here, no risk reward. Not worth to short up here, because probability wise, we still have broken out above all-time highs, so we still could see price just surge higher from here. But for spot, definitely worth to just hold our backs. What would be some scenarios where I could see or where I would actually take a trade, right? For me personally, it's more about last month's high than these up here. As you can see on the lower time frames, right, we retested this former all-time high and are seeing some upside. But I don't really like this 3 tries pattern that we had, right? So I could definitely see prices reverse from here, break below this former all-time high, and if we do so and break below there, I think we at least take out some lows here, here, and maybe even here into that level last month's high, okay? So trade ID 1, if we see some downside here, confirm that this would be the local top in, try some shorts targeting down here. Then from here, if we retest this area, what I'd be looking for is bullish price action going into this level, look for a low being built, a sweep of that low, a reclaim, and then look for longs targeting simply this first local resistance up here, and then all-time highs, and hold some in case we move to 140k. That's a long scenario. And then another one, and that's the bearish scenario. If we fail to hold above last month's high and we get some ugly closes below here, start seeing some ranging and lower time frame pumps are getting sold into, and you see this acting as resistance, then I wouldn't be surprised if after all we still move towards that weekly and monthly liquidity all the way down at around 106k. And if that happens, right, from there we will be looking for longs again if we get a clean sweep and a reclaim and target the opposite side of the range again, which is last month's high. From there, if we see the reclaim, target here, and from there, new all-time highs. All right, but like I said, for now, I am flat on margin. I don't really see a trade ID up here that's worth taking for me. If I had to guess, yeah, it's like 50-50 for me. I see both cases for this to be locally topping up here and smashing back below here and retesting down here. And for this to grind to new highs. Everyone's still calling for a sweep of all-time highs and lower prices, and that it just continues grinding. So that's okay, right? If you're not sure about what direction prices are more likely to go into, simply don't take a trade. That's how easy it can be. So those are the scenarios that I'm watching. I hope it makes sense. Are there any questions already in the chat? Let's see. Your pump short working out nicely. Yeah, a little. We'll talk about it in a second. The local top will be marked when Doge sweeps 0.32, then Giga nuke the whole market towards 100k. Bar news. Ethereum first down. We'll do Ethereum after this. If you had still your ETH long ongoing, would you stop it with your other positions? Like I said, I'm out of Ethereum longs. We caught a nice move up here. You could hold some for all-time highs, but for me, it's like it doesn't make sense to ask what I'm doing, right? Because the situation for everyone is different. Like, I'm big into Ethereum spot. I've been holding Ethereum spot for ages, which is up very nicely. So for me, I like to take profit on margin and now just let spot run in case we go for 7k. I stopped trying to catch like huge moves on margin. I just like playing these small swings on margin and use my spot for the bigger moves. So for those reasons, I'm out of Ethereum longs. It played out beautifully. We covered everything in the streams over these last few weeks, right? From up here being bearish, saying that this was clean invalidation, this was clean resistance and supply, and this was clean invalidation up here, and that we had liquidity resting below there, to from here, like saying that we need a sweep of this and that we were going to look for longs then. So we shorted it up here, took profit down here, flipped long. See, this is a great example of where if you close out one side of a trade to flip into another side, because here I did have the risk reward and I did have the probability, right? Sentiment was lining up beautifully as well. Up here, everyone, woohoo, 5k next. Down here, it's over, 2k next. And look at that. It just, yeah, it's crazy how it works sometimes. But what are we watching for ETH? Let's remove that and see what we have here. Yeah, so Ethereum basically from sweeping monthly liquidity down here into these monthly range lows, right? From here, let's take the monthly actually. What did we say, right? If the monthly sweeps this and closes back inside the range, we were bullish, targeting new highs basically. And that played out nicely. And ever since we saw that rally from the lows to the highs, what was sort of the pattern that we've been seeing, right? Pump, build up an accumulation range being build a high, build a low, sweep the high, sweep the low, and see continuation. Build a high, build a low, sweep the high, sweep the low, see continuation. Now a little bigger range again, build a high, build a low, sweep the high, sweep the low. Who knows, continuation, if the trend is going to continue, and the weekly trend and the monthly trend for sure are bullish in my opinion, we should continue to the upside. So I don't get why you could be bearish here, higher time frame wise. Low time frame, I could agree that we are at this range high resistance, but higher time frame, like this is not a chart you want to be bearish on, right? We swept weekly liquidity into weekly demand, are flirting with a breakout and these clean highs up here. So I think Ethereum soon breaks out, and like what's going to happen after, I don't know. Is it going to be in one move? Like, are we going to move up aggressively and very fast, or is it going to be chop? Are we going to do this, chop again, move higher, chop again, move higher, chop again? Nobody knows. But once again, for me, the trade is done, and now I'm just waiting here. I don't see a trade ID here. Of course, not shorting this. Even though we are at low time frame resistance, but as I said, it's looking that strong that I don't think shorting here is a good idea. But longing up here also don't make sense to me. If you're in longs from lower, sure, holding does make sense. But apart from that, I personally am not seeing it. So no trades for me on this, but looking very good for higher prices. All right. Then BNB. Yeah, honestly, not sure what to say about it. Played out wonderfully. We are holding spots, a small bag from back in the days from years ago, but we added big in this range, right? Targeting new all-time highs and way beyond, and we're still holding all of that spot, which is up around the part that we added, at least is up 2x, right, from down here. A nice 100% move. Where are we going to top, right? I marked out some Fibonacci levels from this side to this low, as that was the range. It should be this low actually. There, right? And then you see around 1.5 is a 2.618 level. That's gonna be key in my opinion. So I think I will start taking some profit around there, at least just take some off, and then try to just time it with Bitcoin and Ethereum once Q4, like depending on how Q4 plays out, right? If everyone is gonna go parabolic and everyone's gonna do crazy shit, yeah, then I think BNBs can easily go to 2K, right? And maybe even a lot higher. Who knows, like 4K, 5K. I think once I wanted to say once it really starts running, but it sort of already did. But then I think it can do crazy stuff. So my plan, maybe take some off, but never just never sell all of it, right? Just in case it keeps on going, then in that case it just keeps on paying you, right? That's my plan for Bitcoin as well, my plan for Ethereum as well. I will be taking aggressive profits I think, after, well, I'm pretty sure about that, during or after Q4. But I will never sell all of my spots, right? I will always hold some, like 25-30%, all right, in case things go mental, and also just for a long term, right? I do think crypto is gonna see many more highs and lows. Yeah, all you can do is just try to time them as good as possible. All right, Bird, nothing too much to update, right? Still looking very good. Still holding spot for this one. We're up, what is it? We're up like 35%. I'm still targeting higher, okay? I think this is just consolidating here. This is just consolidating here before the next leg to the upside. My target is still up here, okay? What else do we have? Litecoin, yeah. Yeah, also not too much to update from the higher time frame perspective. Yes, I do still think this is gonna do a mental move. I do think that it can do something like BNB, and I think if Ethereum follows, right, breaks out here, does this, Litecoin could easily do the same, a breakout here, right, and do this. So we'll also sell on the way up. So nothing changed on the higher time frames. Lower time frames, right, we were watching this range, high, low. Highs got swept ever since we traded here. We said that we still wanted to see that sweep of the lows here in order for us to have strength to finally move to new highs. So that happened. Nice pump. Up here we said we want to see a reclaim of this high in order for us to really start breaking out. So far we didn't get that. Now we're just consolidating a bit again. So like I said, it's hard to time a weekly breakout and an explosive move like that. But when do I really think that we have a high chance that it's gonna happen? Soon, if we break above this level. Like if we start reclaiming this, yeah, then I think it's gonna be go time. All right. So also holding spots. What else do we have? Pump. Yeah, we were short. We are short on pump. The amount of replies I got for this position was crazy. Although it was a clean setup to me. I mean, it's not rocket science. This high was key resistance and simply a pivotal level, right? We broke above it, tested it as support, but couldn't hold it, retested, and then we sold off. Made this low, sort of tapped this pivotal area, but we didn't sweep liquidity below here, right? And these lows are now unswept as well. We came back up again, and we had from this high to this low our OTE area, lining up with supply, the sideways price action that led to this downside, and of course this key level lining up all in the same area. So that's why I gave it a go here after sweeping these highs up here, right? I thought it was gonna drop from here, see lower prices, and then go for this, but kept my invalidation above here because of all of those levels. If we would start reclaiming this on the lower time frames, I would have closed. So far we got rejected. Any pump in there got rejected nicely. We are sitting at some demand right here and a key level, so could see something like this, right? Maybe we pump in here again, but you know, my invalidation is there. If we really start reclaiming this, I will close short, but as long as we do this and get rejected, see ugly closes, I think lower we go on pump. All right, let me drink real quick. Feel free to post some tickers in the chat now. I'll do some requests. We'll see how many we can do. Bonk, I will start with. Check if I don't have any. Oh yeah, Doge. right? Starting to look stronger and stronger again. Remember when I said about in the last stream that I liked these pumps and that they got rejected to the downside every time, also to the upside, but also to the downside. And what I mean with that is you get this pump, right? You get a pretty heavy rejection, but you fail to make a lower low. Instead, you make a higher high. You pump again, make a higher high, get rejected hard again, right? Fail to make a lower low, make a higher low instead, and pump again. And what you often see with these kind of patterns is that they're not able to stop it on the next couple of runs, right? And price just aggressively moves higher. So I could see a scenario here where Doge starts ripping, right? And puts in like a sort of move like we saw here and rips a lot higher. I do have Doge in my spots bags as well. Not as much as Bitcoin, of course, but also not as much as Litecoin, Ethereum, and BNB. But I do have some just in case we do something like this. Yes, that's almost 3x, so that would be nice. But we'll see. All right. Right, let's take a look. Bonk, we said. Oh, well, look at this trade. That's nice. Never took this one though. But anyways, beautiful range, beautiful weekly range that we have here. Let's remove this. But I don't quite like the look of this. See, what you have here is an aggressive pump from the lows, sweeping weekly liquidity and now just bleeding lower. Weak pump, bleeding lower. So what you want to see here is like some strength and reclaim of a key level, key resistance, which would be probably up here, right? This confirms that you got rejected there. If it starts reclaiming this, then we can start talking about higher prices. Until then, I think any rip is just gonna get sold into, ultimately leading to these range lows again. So yeah, not the best looking high time frame charts in my opinion. What's this? That's not my Solana chart. There it is. Yeah, so Solana, what did we say ever since, right? We saw the upside ugly price action. Like, in my opinion, this is one of the ugliest charts there is, how it moves up, how it came down here, then like staircase up. Again, let me remove these a little cleaner, right? So, but ever since we started grinding up again, what could we use for upside resistance? OTE, right? The aggressive move from all-time highs to the low where we started bouncing from. OTE, what's gonna be key resistance? OTE, yeah, OTE, what's gonna be key resistance? The 705 level, okay? Or just the general area in between the 6.2 level and the 7.9 level, and with the 705 level as the mid-range or the range EQ. That lined up pretty nicely with weekly supply, right? So this level was the level that got swept on the weekly here, and that led to all of this downside. So where did we start dumping from this area in general, right? So we can expect this area to be key resistance on the higher time frames, and we're still flirting sort of with that area. As you can see, we tapped into the 7.79 Fibonacci level beautifully, started selling off. We are seeing some strength also on this one, obviously, because Bitcoin traded to new all-time highs. But overall, I'm really not convinced by how this is looking. What I want to see on Solana here would be like, from here, ideally, a strong weekly close above these former highs. And as long as we don't do that, I think this this move here can be seen as a lower high into supply, right? That leads to lower. And if you now also use that OTE for the most recent move from up here to down here, you can also see that it lines up and it traded right in here as key resistance. So if Bitcoin trades like to $130,000 and it keeps on ripping, I think ultimately Solana will do the same. But as soon as Bitcoin starts rejecting a little bit, I think it will be over for Solana and we trade at least back down towards here. Yeah, maybe that's too drastic. Do you say that in English? I don't know. Because there's some more levels here, right? And the weekly did close strong. But for now, like what I'm seeing here is a lower time frame sweep of last week's high, right? And we barely have a wick to the downside on the weekly. So I think, yeah, I think we at least dip back in here. And then maybe bounce. Fail to hold there and it's down to here. It's actually, yeah, I would even look to short this. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, not bad. Not the best, but not bad either. Something like this. Makes sense. Yeah, I really don't see the bullish picture here. I want to see, like, if you want to be bullish on Sol, like, at least wait for. Let me keep these levels actually. Like, in my opinion, you at least wait for a higher time frame breakout, you know? Something like this, and then a retest, and if that holds, then you can start targeting higher, or a weekly break above this level. But right here, it's sitting at high time frame key resistance. Yeah, I really don't see it. I might take this setup actually. Anyways, let's see. You don't want to play the move of take a trade on ENA for the $1 area after ETH starts running hard. Let's see how it looks. Remember when I was short on this up here? I said high swept into key supply, clean lows unswept, and then close to that break even. Sorry. And then close to that break even, and then saw it like do this. So that was ugly, but the lows did get swept now. But so far I'm not seeing a lot of strength here. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Yeah, I think everything looks, yeah, I don't know. I have this gut feeling that we're locally topping. But I could be, I hope I'm wrong, but like, I don't like the look of things, to be honest. Well, Ethereum I really like. Bitcoin, like, if it moves to new highs, if it starts rejecting here, that would be bad. What Bitcoin needs to do as soon as possible is move to a new high and keep ripping. If it doesn't do that and it starts rolling over from here and we break back below here, then I think it will be over for the next few days. But if it doesn't, like, and then I could see Ethereum breakout. Yeah, maybe. We'll see what Bitcoin does, you know. Keep an eye on it, of course. But if it does this, that would be bad. Say. Yeah, not really anything exciting in this chart on the weekly. It's just in a weekly range, right? The lows unswept and the highs unswept, so I don't know. Not really anything going on here. If it sweeps the highs, rejects, right? You're looking at the lows. If it goes above here and reclaims this, then it's getting exciting. Then you can target all the way up here. If it sweeps the lows and reclaims, then you can target the opposite side. Those are some plans that I would be interested in, nothing else. Now it's just chopping in the middle of the range. Tau. Yeah, so this was the plan that I wanted to see, and we still haven't swept the lows, so that's a little unfortunate. But I could see price like it's sort of breaking out of this meme trend line, right? So if it does this, I could definitely see this move towards these highs. But for me, yeah, I want to see a sweep there, man. Let's see the lower time frames on this one. Yeah, nice pop on this, but like once again sitting at resistance, right? You have this supply, you have this supply, you have now this supply, got rejected every time, right? So what you want to see here on Tau, if it gets above here and like breaks this pattern of lower lows and lower highs, then you look to get in here and target the highs. As long as it doesn't, I think we snap back in here and go for weekly liquidity lower. It's a clean chart, to be honest, a lot cleaner than some of those others, and so those would be my game plans. I'm the same. I have a feeling it's a top, but since the pumps started, I haven't been confident at all. Feels like a trap is being set. I'm staying patient. Yeah, I'm feeling something similar, man. It's like I really wanted to see. That's the reason why I shorted up here, you know, because I wanted to see these lows go. And now that we haven't swept them and moved straight to all-time highs from the 1st of October, I really could see us revisit these lows. Like the monthly as well, right? For now, it's looking super strong. And I said this before, any chart that trades to new highs or that pumps hard is going to look strong. But in hindsight, if you have a long wick, it's no longer gonna look strong, right? That's just obvious. So say for Bitcoin that we now start rejecting here and we start trading back in between these two levels, right? But then close the monthly close to last month's low. Where's your draw on liquidity going to be? Still towards that flat bottom, right? So I'm not convinced, man. Strong weekly close, but that's basically everything we have. Yeah, we'll see. I think I'm gonna short some Sol, to be honest. Let me do that real quick. Okay. Guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. All right. I want to watch the market, post some charts in the Discord and some trades. But I hope you enjoyed. We still covered a lot, right? Yeah. See, it's gonna nuke, man. We covered a lot. So I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you did, subscribe to my YouTube, right? Leave a like. Like I said, I'm giving away a $100,000 evaluation on Breakout. Okay, all you have to do is buy your first evaluation. The cost is like, I don't know, you can get an evaluation for like $50 or something. If you do that, you're in. Okay, so go check it out on Breakout. I have the tweet on my Twitter. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.